Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today is the start of a new series that I'm tentatively calling Welcome to the Dark Sun. My brother thinks that's the stupidest name ever, but I don't care, I'm rolling with it. So why this series and why now? In June, I moved back to my hometown and I joined in on regular Dungeons and Dragons sessions with my brother and our friends, because we have collective friends, and we were in the middle of Planescape. I came in like a quarter of the way through the campaign, and so I thought about doing this then, but there was a lot of stuff that I wasn't sure of, having come in so late, that it was just too much to catch up, I think. Like, they'd be like, oh yeah, we know this guy, or we've been here before. I'd be like, ah. But anyway, we finished that campaign last Friday, and we started a new campaign in Dark Sun, which, if you don't know, is apparently a really terrible place. So, story behind that, we were down island, we were in a shop, and they had some minis of Thri-kreen, which are one of the characters from Dark Sun, or the races that you can play. And we mentioned to the guy that we were about to start a Dark Sun setting, and he was like, do you guys all hate each other? So that was kind of my first inkling that this might be a terrible place. But still, we rolled characters, and it's been several months, but we rolled our characters in anticipation of the time that we got to Dark Sun, which happened last Friday. And I kind of want to do like weekly updates of how the campaign's going and how many people died each week, because I hear it's gonna be bad. Quick background on Dark Sun, which I'm not like super an expert on. I'm not DMing this, I'm just trying not to die. It is set in the world of Athos, which has basically been ravaged by magic, and there's no deities there. Nobody likes magic anymore, because like defilers came in and used nature, sucked its power out of it to use their magic, and that destroyed Athos. It's basically an apocalyptic desert. Sounds like a good place to go on vacation, right? So we've started our little adventure in the city of Tyr, and there's a sorcerer king who runs it. I don't remember his name, but that's fine. I don't need to remember these things. And last week we set off into the Tablelands to do a quick little quest. This guy was like, here's 3 quests you can do. This is the hardest one. Here's an easier one, and here's an even easier one. Which one do you want to do? So we took the easier one, which was liberating an Oasis from some cats. Tigers. Started with a B, I don't remember. I'll probably have to take better notes next time. It was just a quick little session, maybe half the night, because we had to finish Planescape first. It was an introduction to the world, and nobody died. People got close, but nobody died. But because it's the first video in the series, I think I need to introduce the characters. We usually have 4 people, well 5 counting the DM, but 4 people who are at the table consistently every Friday night, which is when we play. So I'll start with those characters, and then we have 2 that pretty much kind of switch off every other week. So one Friday one will be there, one Friday the other one will be there. This Friday one of them was there, the other one's just getting back from vacation abroad where it's nice and hot and not snowing like it is outside right now. But I'm not bitter about it. But he doesn't have a character rolled up yet as far as I know, so let's just start with the people that are at the table. On Athos, there's a slight variation of the races that are in typical Dungeons and Dragons settings. So you can have dwarves, elves, half-elves, half-giants, halflings, Maul, which are half-dwarfs, half-humans, and Thri-kreen. If you don't know what a Thri-kreen is, I will show you what a Thri-kreen is. It's this little guy here. This is actually the mini that I'm using to represent my character, because I am playing a Thri-kreen. Mainly because they need less water than everyone else, but he's pretty cool. Looks like a gangly teenager, which is kind of how I'm playing him. And there are other Thri-kreen, like this guy, who, as you can tell, looks a lot beefier, but I prefer the super skinny, gangly one. The advantage of the Thri-kreen is definitely that they only need 1 gallon of water a week, versus everyone else who needs at least 1 a day. I think the Maul needs something stupid like 3 a day. No, it's the half giant that needs 3 a day, which makes sense. Getting back into the characters that we are playing, I'll start with myself. I am playing a Thri-kreen. He is a male. Because I played a female in the last campaign, so I decided why not switch it up. His name is Salentithius, because I thought of like the stupidest name I could. He is a rogue, because I think stealing stuff is fun, right? I don't know. I tried to make a character so different than my character in the last one, who was a drow ranger, kind of decently good person, so I decided to go with like the complete opposite. He's an accidental folk hero. I haven't figured out what accidental thing he did to become a folk hero, but he's totally owning it. Every time he introduces himself as Salantithius, folk hero of X. Every time it's a different name, so super funny. Nobody's noticed at the table yet. I did it a couple times. Nobody's noticed. The DM noticed, but I told him that I was gonna do that. His flaw is also that he misuses big words, so I've just been looking at big words and just completely using them the opposite way because I think it's really funny. He's so annoying. I wouldn't be his friend in real life. And with a rogue, I took the path of Arcane Trickster, which gives him some magic, which is like questionable on Dark Sun, where they really hate people who use magic, but I just wanted useful magic, which I didn't have when I played my last character in Planescape. I felt like her magic kinda sucked. I felt like she wasn't the most helpful character, but it could have just been because we had two really powerful warriors, so they were always getting those big hits with like 56 damage, and I'm like, I got 3! But anyways, already day 1 of our campaign, and I'm feeling like Salantithius is a lot more useful and a lot more helpful because he's just got like 4 claws, so he can just attack and then bite, and because he's a rogue, he's got sneak attack if his allies are near him, so yeah, I'm loving this guy. Not really gonna go into a lot of detail about the other characters because again, it is just the first session and I really only know the basics about them. Next, we do have a half-elf. Her name is Vashti. She is a bard from the College of Valor. Super convenient to have a bard, especially because Vashti can heal. The next character is a halfling, and next to my character, this is probably my favorite character, her name is Nibbles, and she is a cannibalistic monk. I think all halflings in Dark Sun are cannibals, which is awesome, and this one's just a little crazy, but I like it. After that, we have a Maul, which again was the dwarf-human mix, named Bardock, and he is a druid, and his character so far is just like grumpy old man. It's like he lived in the city of Tyr, and then one by one we just kind of came across his squat and now we're a party. That's what we decided to go with. And the final character is of one of the guys who isn't at the table every week, and he is also a Thri-Kreen, so yeah, Thri-Kreen, we a party. His name is Druidoc. Did you catch that? So we have a guy named Bardock, who's a druid, and now we have, you guessed it, he's a bard and his name is Druidoc. So stupid, so confusing, but basically the Maul guy picked that he was going to be a druid, his name was going to be Bardock, and the other one was like, oh, I'm a bard. What are you? You're a druid? Okay, my name's Druidoc. So it's not going to be at all confusing. And he is from the College of Whispers, which I believe is from Xanthar's guide, which is one of the newer guides. So that's basically our characters. And now that you know our characters, I'll go into a little bit more detail about our adventure. So we rolled up into like the market, the elven market. See, details are coming back to me. We met this guy who had a coin purse above his stall. He had 3 adventures to send us on. One had an oasis, one had a wagon, and the other one had someone evil. I can't remember if they were like a druid or whatnot. So we set out into the Tablelands, taking the oasis quest because that was the easiest one, less chance to die. And the first thing we came across was a druid getting attacked by a sand monster. I'm sure there's an actual name for that. So we came to his rescue, we killed him, the sand monster, not the druid, let the druid go on its way. Next thing we came across was some poisonous grass and some herders with their weird ant insect things. I don't remember what they're called either. I'm so good at this. They didn't like us. So we just kind of continued our way. And then we saw something far off in the distance, which was flying around, and we were like, let's not go over there, that's a terrible idea. And then we came across some herders getting attacked by a half-giant, I believe, and there was also like some dangerous foliage, so we avoided that. People almost died here, but they did not. We destroyed the half-giant, and then we continued on and finally got to the oasis, where those cat-like creatures that start with a B were there, and they didn't like us coming up in their oasis. They were like, this is our oasis, and we're like, well, somebody told us that it wasn't, so we need to kill you now. It started out really poorly. people almost died, no one died, and the last one was taken down by Vashti, the half-elf, grappling him and dragging him into the water of the Oasis. So we saved the Oasis, but we kind of contaminated the water. And then that was where we ended our session because it was going to be a while for us to get back to the city of Tyr, and it was pretty late at night. And so we decided to wait until next Friday to continue that adventure. To recap, everybody told me Dark Sun was going to be terrible and everybody was going to die on the first effort, and it hasn't happened yet, so I don't think it's that terrible. And I really like my new character so far. I think I'm going to put these series up on Sundays, but I'm not sure. It's going to take me a little while to figure it out because I need kind of a day to decompress after the session and figure out what I'm going to say. I'm tentatively thinking I'm going to post them on Sunday. We'll see how it goes. If you can think of a name for this series, let me know. I really like Welcome to the Dark Sun, but I mean, I'm open to suggestions. And I think that's going to be it for this video. So like and subscribe if you do want to see more. I do plan on doing this series throughout the course of this campaign, which granted could end next week because we could just all die. But until then, come back and learn more about our Dark Sun campaign. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.